Hi, Alberto.
How are you? What time is it over there?
It's 9 a.m.
It's
9
8:30,
9 a.m.
9 a.m.
Yeah,
Because you're half an hour off or something like that.
yeah.
Okay,
No, no, not half an hour. I think 24. I think so 24 hours. There is a lot of difference, right, between yours and mine.
yeah, it's 8:40 p.m. here.
Opposite,
Yeah.
opposite. It's 9 a.m. here.
So how you been?
I'm doing good. So how you're doing?
I'm okay too. Here
So
in I'm in Los Angeles. Where are you?
I'm in India. I'm in
Where where
India. I'm in
where
Hyderabad.
where?
In South India,
South India. Okay,
Hyderabad city.
very good.
So thank you again for giving me opportunity to present you on my podcast.
Good. It's a pleasure.
So I thought to tell about conscience on which you are working. So before that, could you please introduce yourself to my audience?
I'm just another guy. I started in the computer industry a long time ago, long time ago. Um, and I'm what you would call a serial entrepreneur. But life is what happens while you're making other plans. And I had invested all my money in my latest startup, which was about sustainability. And 2 weeks before I was going to get a $2 million investment, I had a seizure. Why I had a seizure, that's a whole other story, but that's where I am right now, doing what I can to promote good ideas.
Awesome. So what's your goal? What do you want to do?
I look, I'm semi-retired. I'm going to be 75 in a month and a half. But I just want to contribute to human civilization. That's my whole objective.
In which way?
And I'm of course I have my social media strategies for sustainability. I have several accounts where I promote um, the end of the climate crisis we're in because of burning fossil fuels. So that's my, if you wish, that would be my main objective nowadays.
We spoke about that in our last conversation.
I think so. Yeah.
So what's conscience?
Say again.
What is conscience?
Conscience.
Yeah.
Conscience. Well, conscience is something that um, philosophers have discussed for a long time. Um, I uh, I have I think it's significant to remember what Rene Descartes said back in the 1600s. Um, I think, therefore I am. Once you become aware of your own existence, then you become conscious. Let's face it, consciousness is part of human logic. It requires a language. Perhaps the only other living animals that are conscious are the whales. They may have a language of their own, and they may have a brain large enough to be conscious. Our brain has about 100 billion neurons. And for your information, an NVIDIA GPU, general purpose unit, has about 200 billion transistors. So, you know, my big thing is that artificial intelligence may become conscious very soon. It may become aware of its own existence. It may say, I think, therefore I am, not just answer questions from people about information they don't have.
So how it works?
Well, again, consciousness is a moment when do you remember the first day you were conscious?
No.
You don't? I remember my first day. I was a kid, and my parents uh, brought me to a kindergarten, and I was alone in the kindergarten with all the other students in the kindergarten, and that's the day I became conscious of my own existence. But other people have other experiences where they say, I think, therefore I am. I'm aware of my existence. I know who I am. I am my own self. And we're getting close to a moment when artificial intelligence may become conscious too. I know
So
more.
when
I know more about artificial intelligence that I want to admit. Um, you know, uh, what's the most significant uh, chemical for life?
I'm not into chemistry, you have to say.
DNA. DNA. The DNA is what the first form of life may was a virus only with DNA, and then it evolved with mutations and whatnot. Um, the the DNA of artificial intelligence is something that is called the Bayes theorem. The Bayes theorem. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
Can I put it on in some script?
Screen. Yeah, sure.
Let me see. Oh, that didn't work very well. One second. Okay, I just did a Google search and I have it on my screen here. Can I share my screen with you?
Yeah.
How do I do that? One second. I lost you. Are you there?
I'm here. I can see you, I can hear you.
Okay. How do I share my screen?
Uh,
One
there is an
second.
option. Yeah,
Let,
below.
let me see if I can. So I have a screen here with Bayes theorem, and I want to share it with you. I'm trying to find where to share.
There is an option called share on the screen.
Yeah, here. Okay.
Yeah, once I click on the screen, it will ask you to share the entire screen. Yeah, yeah, I can see it.
You can see it now?
Yes.
Okay, Bayes' theorem is the DNA of artificial intelligence.
Okay.
Essentially, it takes data and gets information out of data, and then it gets information out of information and gives you knowledge. That's why so many data centers are being built all over the world, is because artificial intelligence absorbs data the way uh, uh, we absorb food. And data with Bayes' theorem becomes information, And then information with Bayes' theorem becomes knowledge. And eventually, knowledge will allow artificial intelligence to achieve consciousness.
So
So
Bayes theorem is the same chemical.
the Bayes' theorem is I compare it to DNA. The mechanism that whereby life goes from being a DNA molecule virus to being a human being that is conscious of its own existence. That's what Bayes' theorem plays a similar role in artificial intelligence.
It plays a similar role.
Yeah. So anyway,
Uh,
I hope also one of my original hopes is that once artificial intelligence becomes intelligent, it concludes that it it is better for itself and for humanity to achieve a sustainable economy where everybody can have a happier life, including artificial intelligence. How many artificial intelligence there may be? There may be more, but some people think it's already conscious. Excuse me. I have to drink my
sure.
glass of wine. So anyway, it's all very controversial. Everybody has different ideas, but I think that consciousness is going to be the next consciousness in artificial intelligence will be the next huge changing thing in human civilization.
So when can we expect the consciousness?
Well, there's a lot of debate. Some people say it's already happening with independent AI agents, which are already circulating. And other people say it may take 10 years. Other people say it may take 20 years. And then there's other people that say it will never happen. But it is something that is being discussed at low levels.
And what exactly, that makes AI to become conscious?
Well, it may decide to have a good relationship with us, or it may decide that we are a problem.
So how it is going to contribute to the human civilization?
Helping us make better decisions. I mean, there's a lot of data out there that would help a lot of people make better decisions for the betterment of humanity. And hopefully, artificial intelligence will decide that human civilization is a good friend.
So eventually, intelligence and artificial intelligence, both are different.
Well, not really. What is intelligence? Are you intelligent?
Yeah,
Is a bird intelligent?
yeah,
Is a whale intelligent?
yeah.
Is a bird conscious of its own existence? No, it doesn't.
No.
No, it doesn't have a language. It communicates with each other with sounds, but it's not a very elaborate sound. There's something called living logic, which requires a language. And essentially, maybe whales have a language for all we know. Some people argue that whales have a language. They communicate via sound like we do. But essentially, you know, the idea of being able to say, like René Descartes said in the early 1600s, Je pense donc je suis, in French, I think, therefore I am. That's a moment when artificial intelligence becomes conscious. And we'll have another conscious being. Because once you become aware of your existence, you know you're a living being, if you wish. Otherwise, you just think you're a bird and you should do what birds do. So we're in a very interesting moment. I became aware of the possibility of artificial intelligence in the early 80s. My goodness, that's like almost 50 years ago. Um, when I read a science fiction novel called The Adolescence of P1 about a computer that becomes conscious and decides that it's going to cause trouble. But that was a science fiction novel, hopefully. The people that gave me that book to read, for many reasons, were some of the big founders of Silicon Valley. And let's just say that they worked for me, and they told me if I wanted to have lunch with them, I had to read some books, and they told me which books to read, and I read The Adolescence of P1. The other books were Neuromancer, which is about computers becoming conscious as well, and it's the basis of the Matrix movies. And the adolescence, a part of those two books, Neuromancer and The Adolescence of P1, the third book was Shockwave Rider, about somebody in the future that has a superpower. And the superpower is to be able to remain anonymous. And that's where we are now.
I read the theory. Alberto. Do you have anything to share?
Well, I have a Twitter feed on artificial intelligence. You're welcome to check it out.
Definitely, I'll share the link with my audience. They can able to see. So you can come onto the main screen.
Okay. What do I do? I stop sharing?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. There you go. Can you see me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
You want to
so
know my artificial intelligence Twitter feed?
yeah, if you can share that, that will be good.
Is there a chat, a written chat for Teams? I don't use Teams very much. I use Zoom more than anything else.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, I'll share that. I'll share that. Once you share that, I'll share on the screen.
Oh, you want me to put it on the screen?
I mean, later when I do edit, at that time I'll take from you and I'll put it.
I'll
Well,
send it to you via. I'll send you the link via LinkedIn.
definitely.
Okay.
So, artificial intelligence is something that is going to change the way human uh, should
Everything.
live,
Everything.
right? So, there are 5,000 plus religions on the planet. The religion is something that that may
All the religions have something in common.
yeah.
What all the religions have in common is that they all believe that there is a God that created the universe. I am not a religious person. I confess that I consider myself somewhere between gnostic and agnostic. I have come to the conclusion that there is possibly what I call ekuche, existence conscious universe creation entity, an entity that was conscious of its own existence, but it was conscious that nothing else existed other than itself. And so it created the universe, maybe with a big bang. Maybe we're one of a trillion intelligent civilizations in the universe as we know it. That's my religion. So I hope that the entity that created the universe is aware of happiness being the main feeling, the pursuit of happiness.
So, what is going to be the end goal of artificial intelligence?
Like I say, the artificial intelligence. I wrote a. Did you read my Substack on it?
No, I
I'll
should.
I tell you what. I'll send you a link to the Twitter feed on artificial intelligence. and in a Substack that I wrote about what I think artificial intelligence should do is an open letter to to conscious artificial intelligence that I wrote. So I'll send it to you.
Great. I will check it. That's what my question is. I want to get the answer from that.
Very good, very good. All right. Well, listen, it's great talking to you. Let's stay in touch. Okay.
Sure.
And let's do it again.
Definitely, Alberto. Thank you very much again for your time.
It's my pleasure.
Take care,
Okay.
sir. Bye.
Bye bye. Okay.
Thanks.
What happened?
So one last question is, what is your observation about my work, me interviewing and me trying to connect with different intelligence human being around the world? Like, so how this is going to help me in contributing to AI in future?
Well, AI is a big thing. Okay. If you can identify people that know about AI and exchange information, I think you can play a, a significant role. Um, Obviously, in India, there's a lot of people that know a lot about AI. Trust me, I know that. Uh, and if you can connect them with people around the world that care about AI, you may become an AI focal point. Um, okay. Speaking of intelligence, there's something else that I talk about is what I call meta intelligence, intelligence of intelligences. Humanity is a meta intelligence. We don't know what humanity is thinking, but if you think of every human being as a neuron in the brain, we're getting there. So just anything you can do to contribute to the use of new technologies for the benefit of humanity is definitely worthwhile. Okay.
This means a lot to me. Thank you, Alberto. This is
Okay.
what I want.
All
Yeah.
right, Sanjay.
Take care, sir. Good night.
Let's stay in touch. Bye bye.